All right, so right now what I'm going to talk about is the difference or the couple of mistakes that I saw in the cabin project, and it was pretty much across the board. So I know it's probably something I didn't talk about, and I think another one of the things was you guys used Gabe's architectural template, which I think might have been different from mine. So one of these changes, I think it's just a template thing. In my template, one thing that mine always calls for is to make these fractions half size. And I noticed everybody across the board, y'all had full size fractions. So that was just a template thing. It's a super easy thing to go in here and fix though. All you have to do is, let's come back into 2D. We're going to go into our dimension style. We're going to modify it. And under text, fraction height scale, just set that to 0.5. And what that does is it keeps your fractions from, if it's set to 1, which is the default, you'll have a dimension like this, 5.5. You'll have a full 1 and a full 2. So what this does is we make it half size. So the 1 is half size and the 2 is half size, which in total makes it full size. There's one more step that you want to make sure that you do. Now that you've made those half size, if you come over here to primary units, you can choose how you want them to appear. I don't care if you choose diagonal, which has a diagonal line, or horizontal, which has the horizontal line. I did it horizontal up on the board. I don't care which one of these you choose. What I don't want you to choose is not stacked. Not stacked, even if you said 0.5, they'll still be full size. They're not stacked. So in doing it this way, it just takes up so much more space, and some of those dimensions are really, really like it's a squished up area already. So just making that little change, just make this either horizontal or diagonal, and under the text, make this a 0.5, and making that little change, when you look in here, it just makes your dimensions fit better. Because if you look over here especially, you get really, really crowded. There's a lot going on. So if you had a full size 2, a full size 10, a full size 1, and a full size 2 with a slash and a dash and an inch and a foot, that dimension just doesn't even fit in there. It's really, really squished if you do get it to fit. So that's a pretty simple change to make. And like I said, it was probably just your template that you used. And another one that I just don't think I showed you guys how to do this, and it's a pretty cool thing to do, is to get your viewports to line up. And we have multiple viewports on almost everyone, or well, on all of these pages, but they need to line up on several. So first floor needs to line up with second floor. And then we come over here to elevations. This needs to line up vertically, and these all need to line up horizontally. And when you come to sections, these should line up horizontally with each other. So I'm going to show you a super, super easy way to do this. It's called MV setup. That's multi-view setup, MV setup. And in the MV setup, I'll write it up here. MV setup. We're just going to type that in. The key to this, though, is you have to go unlock your viewports. So to be able to do that, it won't work if your viewports are locked, because what we're going to try to do is shift one view down to match the other one, and it can't do that if your viewport's locked. So just make sure, you've unlocked your viewport here. And let's say yours looks like this, and I got a lot of that, where it's just I got these, they don't actually line up with each other. So we're just going to do, I don't know if both viewports have to be unlocked, so I'll just unlock them both to make sure. But we'll type in MV setup. Hold on, I'll move my mouse up here so you can see it.
I know what mine looks like. I draw lines across and try to move them up.
And then snap to those lines. Yeah, and it's hard sometimes because you can't always snap a line that's in paper space. You can't snap model space into paper space, but you can snap paper space into model. It gets messy, and then you have to go delete those lines. So this MV setup, right when you start it, you get this align command. However, right when you start it, it turns off your O-snaps, and I have no idea why. So go turn on your endpoint O-snap. But so we've got aligned, and now I'm going to choose horizontal because I want these to align with each other horizontally. And now I'm going to click into this viewport, and I'll click right here. I'll click into this viewport, and I'll click right there too. So both of the bottom studs, and it just bumps right up there. Super, super easy to do. Now you can go, you know, in that command and then lock your viewports. Don't forget to lock your viewports. But that works in all of these. So it's just that MV setup. So I'll do this one. Let me unlock this. You know, let's say you've got this up here. I'm going to try it right now with MV setup without unlocking the other viewports. I'm not sure if this will work. We'll see. MV setup, align. We're going to do horizontal. And so weird, it turns off my O-snaps. I don't know why it does that. Endpoint here and endpoint there. Ew, it did not like that. Okay. So let's try it the other way. This one is unlocked. Let me try it with this one first, aligning with that. So MV setup, align, horizontal. First I'll click. That O-snap thing makes me crazy. Click here. Now I'll click here. There we go. So it worked.
The right one was not unlocked.
The middle one was unlocked. The other one was not. So if you're going to do that, you have to end with the one that is unlocked. Does that make sense? So the last one that you click on, so this was the first one. I said, hey, align with this, and then I clicked this. That was the second endpoint I gave. And that second one is the one that moved. So I actually did not have to unlock all the viewports, just the one that's going to move.
What about with the one right above it?
Mm-hmm. Same thing. So we can come in here. Let's do, you know, like this.
Maybe like the top of the peak of the roof to the other top of the roof and do vertical.
Yeah, you could do it however, whatever endpoint you choose to have. We can do MV setup, align. This time we're going to do vertical alignment. Turn on your O-snap. It's so weird that it does. I need to get over it. We'll click in here, and then we'll click over here, and it just lined it up perfectly for me. Of course, when I moved it over, I had like really moved it, so you might have to do it twice in this particular case because it has to line up horizontally and vertically. But I just wanted to show y'all that's a super cool command. You could also do the align command, but with the align command, you would have to kind of track because remember with the align command, you click your source point, you click your destination point, and if you do that, it's right on top. So you would have to like track over before you click that second time. But MV setup's made to just do that quickly and easily. Another thing is, and I only saw this a couple of times, but it's enough to mention, if you did not have that picture there, my picture's not there because it's an XREF, and apparently that XREF belongs in a different folder. I can't find it, but some people did not have an XREF up there at all, the picture. If that was the case for you and you know that you did it, check your layer because a lot of people put that accidentally on the viewports layer and the viewports layer doesn't print. So it looks fine on your screen, but then it doesn't print, and that's a real common mistake. I would say that's it. You guys actually did a really great job on this. So, you know, there were a few like check a dimension, you probably snapped to the endpoint of a dimension instead of an endpoint of a wall, so it was off by a fraction of an inch, but you know, it was a few little things like that, but you guys really did a great job on this project. Do you guys have questions on anything on this project? Yes, ma'am.
So the ridge beam, you don't want it shown at all?
Well, the ridge beam, this guy right here, I do want it, but it's a multi-leader with an arrow. I don't remember yours in particular, but...
You said
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. At this, in elevations, we don't see it at all. You're right. So from the front yard, you don't see the, you know, the inside studs at all.
So in the section view, it is flat now.
Yep. So when you drew it, you definitely had it flat up top for that section view because we're seeing how the roof is actually framed, but the finished roof just comes to a point. From the outside, you don't actually see anything right there.
And the roof is not flat on top from that point across to the other end point like it would be where that little.
This?
Yeah, like, you don't, it's inside, but I guess it runs underneath and the roof
Yeah.
comes to a point.
Yeah,
at
so when the
top.
roofers come out, it comes to a peak there, but the framing part of it looks like that. So that's pretty much it. But you guys are going to have to do that align command in 3 different layouts. So here to here. Let's see. All of these views need to line up with each other, and then your first floor and second floor need to line up with each other. So that's it. Do y'all have any other questions?
And the stringer in the section view is
Uh-huh.
not on the actual E-section view picture on the paper.
Yeah, and that's a weird thing from one page to another, and that's just something I totally need to fix. From one page to another, sometimes you see it and sometimes you don't see that stringer. So about half of you did not have it there and half of you did. So just go draw a line. It's a super easy fix.
It's more than 3.5.
Yeah, it has to be 3.5 from this point here. It can be bigger than 3.5. So when I do it, I actually, well, this is a bad example, but I'll actually bring it from here. Just bring it straight down, or wherever it is, just bring it straight down. Trying to think of what else. You have to trim out that ceiling fan. A lot of people had the window still going through that ceiling fan. There's another thing too. There's a dimension on here. It shows up on one page, but it doesn't show up on the rest of the pages. And it goes from here to the top of the window. Let's see if this one, actually this doesn't even have it right.
It's like 5, 10.5.
Oh, wait. Yeah, it's 5 foot 10.5. It actually goes from the top. There we go. I don't know. This is an old drawing, so that might have been before. But that dimension shows up on one page and it doesn't show up on another page. Go ahead and put that there because you used it to draw it. You used it to figure out where that window was. So go ahead and put yours there. Y'all have any other questions? Yes, sir.
I did it the same way, but since it was a newer version though, but I don't know what's wrong with it.
What do you mean, what's wrong with it?
Why there's some wet errors since when yours is old and mine is new version. What's the difference between that?
I'm not understanding. What's the difference between which part? That dimension that I just showed you, the 5 foot 10.5?
Yeah, and versus this one though, which is with your type of check fix though and all that.
Yeah.
What's the deal with that?
If you look through the project, on one of the pages in the project, that dimension showed up. I think it's on the section when you were drawing the section views. And I'm just saying, some pages had it, some pages didn't have it. I would like for you to have it. So if you didn't have it on your dimensions, then I made a little note for you to add it on your dimensions.
And sometimes it's just an old version,
No.
that.
The drawing, your book is not old. This drawing right here was old. This drawing is an old student drawing, and that's before we actually had that dimension of 5 foot 10.5 when she drew this.
Oh.
That's what's old, is the drawing you're looking at right here.
Yeah, that's why
Mm-hmm.
the check fix,
Mm-hmm. Yours will say 5 foot 10.5 because you had that. That's what you drew yours at. Any other questions? All right. So